welcome to Show Up, Stand Out Online Visibility Expert Series for Entrepreneurs. My name is Juliette Stapleton and I'm a visibility strategist. And today I'm bringing you a wonderful guest, Rebecca Lockwood. Hi Rebecca, how are you?
Hey, I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me.
I am delighted to have you guys. Rebecca is an expert in mindset and business strategy, and she's a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And we're going to talk about online visibility strategies that Rebecca uses. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about her
online visibility expert series for entrepreneurs. My name is Juliette Stapleton, and
Guys,
I'm a visibility strategist.
Visibility strategy tip for you. When you are starting your live show, make sure that you don't have any sound anywhere and your screen doesn't go off. This is actually the first time it happened to me, so I feel very good about it, but there's always the first. So let's go back and let's start again. Rebecca is a mindset and business strategy expert. So Rebecca, what is that and how did you end up doing what you're doing?
Oh gosh, it's been a long journey. It's something that I was introduced to a long time ago. In my first business, my last business, it was all about confidence and showing up as the person that you want to be, and it just morphed into mindset and into coaching and into just showing up as yourself. When I first started my last business, I didn't expect it to be where it is now, but through the journey, I just kept following my intuition and going with my gut, and this is where I ended up.
This is interesting. I actually found the same. So how did you deal with pivoting, in terms of repositioning yourself? Did you ever have any sort of blocks or resistance to it, or did you just go with the flow?
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah. I remember because there was a gap between closing that business and starting this business, and there was a gap where I went back to my employed role, and I did my NLP and coaching training. And I remember when I had that business, it was going so well. Like, people would come up to me on the street that knew me from school and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're doing so amazing." And inside it felt like I just wanted to tell them to go away and leave me alone.
So you were sort of in a way sabotaging your own success. I went through that stage too with my old friends, I have to say.
Yeah. And I didn't want to close that business at the time because it felt like if I closed the business, it would mean that I'd failed. And it took me a good 6 months, internally battling with myself to actually close it and just step back and say I've had enough. But it was the best thing that I ever did, because that's what led me into where I am now. So it couldn't have happened at a better time for me.
That's right. It's like sometimes for something good to come into our lives, we really do need to release something that doesn't serve us. And the longer we grab on to that thing and we're afraid, the longer the goodness doesn't come in.
And the harder it becomes.
And then the moment you release that thing that was draining your energy, everything good starts happening to you. That's amazing. Yeah. So tell me how. So in your new business now, you are an NLP expert and coach.
Yes. So a lot of what I do is I work with female entrepreneurs who have, mainly people who have limiting beliefs that hold them back from achieving their potential, or they're afraid to really show up as the people that they are. Quite often I find that people come to me and they've got so many things that they're interested in, and this is why I love the term multi-passionate. They've got so many things that they're so creative, and they've got lots of different things that they want to do, but they can't see how they can fit it all together. So what's usually happened is they've tried to start doing a few different things and feel like they're all separate. Whereas when we actually sit down and put it all out in front of us, it's the same thing, and it can all be kind of put together and packaged as a business and as a personal brand rather than lots of different things, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah. I'm a huge ambassador for personal branding because, we're so unique. We're not just one thing or the other. There is an amazing combination in each one of us, So when you want to create a business, I do believe that anybody has a potential to create a business on their passions. The most important thing is that you're passionate about something. Because the worst business owners that I've come across are those who are actually not passionate about what they're doing, and that's just very soul destroying,
Yeah.
So that's that's interesting. And then how do you, so with yourself and with your business and with your clients, talking about online visibility, what would be your favorite strategies, or how do you then build that personal brand online?
Yes, so I think the main thing is just showing up as the person that you are, taking inspired action. I'm a very off the cuff kind of person. So I just do what I feel inspired to do when I feel inspired to do it. So things like going live have been a game changer for me, because it's, you know, sometimes you get inspired to speak about something and you can just go live and do that. And building a community. So Facebook groups have been, again, they've been a game changer for me in my business. And I've found through podcasting and doing live video, it's really helped build that like, know and trust. I had a stage where I had so many people saying to me, like, Rebecca, I see you everywhere. And that's when you know you've got it, you've hit the nail on the head, because you are just showing up. It didn't feel like I was doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. It didn't feel exhausting. I just did what I felt inspired to do at the time. And then I've kind of come away from that and sat down and thought, right, what have I done? And how can other people learn from that as well?
Exactly. And you know what, this is an interesting observation about when you become active and you start being active, and when you're doing things that you are inspired to do, it's really catching, like, it's a contagious thing, and people do think that they see you all the time, although we know how, say on Facebook, how Facebook works. You know, if they see you and they engage with you once, then obviously you're going to be shown to them all the time. So that's where, you know, smart sort of prospecting and connecting to people, you know, that all those strategies come to play. Tell me about your podcast.
Yeah, so I love my podcast, and I tend to interview a lot of female entrepreneurs, so very similar to this. And I really just like to, I'm so curious. I just really like to get down to like the bottom of everything, like really unearth why people think like they think, like what is it that inspired them to take the action that they take. What fears have showed up for them, and what's been the journey, not necessarily just the entrepreneurial journey, but the whole, like the spiritual journey, what's led them to just take the actions that they've taken. And yeah, that all just fascinates me. So sometimes I ask really uncomfortable questions, but that's what makes it so exciting. So a lot of the time I get my content from my podcasts as well, from the questions that I ask people when joining my Facebook group. And that's what keeps it really relevant, because I ask people what they want to see and they tell me.
So, okay, well, that's actually interesting. I want to come to you and try and ask me some sort of uncomfortable question. We were just talking about, before we went live, we were talking about how we're kind of wing it queens, and we can wing it a lot. So.
Completely.
But I think that's the beauty of it, because, you know, at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, and I don't believe in perfection altogether, because of the uniqueness of each one of us. So sometimes when you come into uncomfortable situation, and I think as an entrepreneur, the muscle that you need to train is your flexibility. So you need to be flexible, and you need to learn how to wing it. It doesn't mean that you do everything, you know, half-heartedly or anything like that, you know. So that it was funny for me. You mentioned Facebook groups. In terms of online visibility, were you talking about building your own group, or were you talking about being active in other groups? What is your favorite thing to do with groups?
I'd say both, definitely, because I found I do a lot of, so all my marketing is organic. I've not done paid ads. I may do them, but I've not done them yet. And so me showing up in other people's Facebook groups and providing support and value there has been what's built my community. I love my own Facebook group, because it's really where I build that community, and I really show up there. Like, I don't hold anything back, or I try not to. I show behind the scenes. I'm very open and honest, sometimes too honest, I think. And I think that you can do that in a closed community, in your own community, and there's nothing to hide. And there's no shame in that, because there's still some stuff that I don't share on my Facebook profile or on my Facebook page that I do share in my group. And that's because I know who's in there, and I feel like that's, you know, it's so easy for people to look at everyone and think everyone is perfect and everyone has got it the shit together, and really, like, none of us have. We're all learning as we go. We don't know what we don't know. And I think that's really important to show people that and show people behind the scenes. And that's what I use my Facebook community for.
I agree with that. In fact, I think I took it a step further, and I have my Fearless Planet where I sometimes go and say what it is. If something's not working out and I'm talking about that topic, I'll tell them that it's not working out for me, because it's true that social media, especially when you're following somebody or you're trying to build your business, you eventually have so many entrepreneurs in your space, and you're looking at them, and most of them are so successful and they're making all this money, and the 6 figures here and the 7 figures here, but they're not telling you about the hard work, and they're not telling you about the failures, and they're not failure is really a change of direction, so but still there's stress that comes with it, and you never see that. So people get, in a way, what I compare it with female magazines. When you have women in the magazines who are all very airbrushed, and I know people are going to say, Juliette, what are you talking about? You look so well on your... Guys, this is lighting. I always say, this is all lighting, right? I'm not perfect. But when you're looking at the magazines and the skinny models and everything, you're like, oh my God, I have 2 pounds extra. That's me, guys. That's what I say. I have 2 pounds extra on me. I'm fat. And then you start feeling bad. And it's the same with visibility. When you're looking at successful entrepreneurs who says like, I made 20 grand last week. And you're saying, oh my God, my business is not going anywhere, and I don't look like that, I don't sound like that, I'm not making that kind of money, and you only started your business like 3 months ago. You can't compare yourself to what you see. You really need to experience your own journey and see clarity on it. I think that it's important to remember that all of this that you see is also some sort of discourse, and it's also some sort of way of, presenting yourself. And you'll end up doing that as well. We all do that. But it's good to show up authentically, and authentically means vulnerable when you are supporting other people, because you can just show them that you're just the same as them.
Yeah, it's so true. Like I always say, when people come up with this, and when I think it myself, I always say like we compare the back end of our business to the front end of someone else's business. Like we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what they're thinking. And this really came round to me when I was being interviewed for a different podcast. An amazing woman, and we were talking about this same sort of subject, and she was saying, I was saying, it's so easy to get caught up in feeling like you should have more, you should be more. And I was in my mind thinking about someone who I used to think about towards. And then she said to me, Rebecca, yes, you are so intimidating. And I was like, huh? What? And it just it was like a smack in the face. I was like, well, that just kind of validated that for me, didn't it? Like, it's just crazy. Like there's always the trap, when we fall into the trap of always feeling like we need more and we want more and we've got to have more, it's just a spiral that's never gonna happen. We need to really check in with ourselves and say, who am I and who do I want to be, and be grateful for that.
I agree with that. Now, in terms of being more, to me, I am always trying to be more, but that is more on personal development level. I just want to be a much bigger version of me, and as a high achiever, it's probably never enough. I want to do more. I want to be more. I want to expand. But that's a little bit different when it comes to business. And again, the visibility, because I've experienced the same thing. When I started building my online coaching business, I looked up to some people, and then after a certain period of time, say 8-10 months, these people were coming to me and saying things to me that I felt like I'm intimidating them, and I was like, wow. What just happened?
Amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah, but it's actually it's not that you're intimidating or not. It's just the fact that, again, you're saying something that you're presenting, and it could be your light, and we have a lot of light in us, so some of us open up more than others. That's the only difference, I think, and I teach people to open up, that to shine that light, but that's all you see just the light, right? So you don't, as Rebecca said, you don't see the behind the scenes, and you don't know what's going on. And I'm not saying we're pretending, not at all, absolutely, but there's still so much to the story, isn't it? So so this is something we kind of went off a little bit our topic, because I wanted to touch on another strategy that we were discussing for this show, and that was email building, the list building strategy. So in your opinions, where do you put the email list on your priorities ladder?
Yeah, so I think the email list is definitely one of the most important things, only because we never know what's going to happen with Facebook. I do nurture my community a lot more in the Facebook group. However, if anything was to happen, you own your email list, don't you? And I always back mine up as well, because it's software. We just never know what's going to happen. But yeah, there's a few things actually about emails that I find like really key for me. And when I've received emails, there's nothing more annoying than not seeing someone's face when you open an email, because I think we get so many emails these days that we don't always know who it's from unless we see them at the top, unless we really, really know. And so I always feel like it's important to have that slap bam at the top, like, hi, this is me. And there's, yeah. But email list is definitely up there. And one of the things that I found really key is directing people to my email list before my group, and then my group and my podcast. So it always goes email first.
That actually makes perfect sense. I even do that with messenger bots. I always try and offer something to my messenger bot subscribers so they can be on my list as well. Because again, Messenger and Facebook, you're right. It's not a platform you own and not a traffic you own or can in any way retain if something happens to it. So yeah, that's a very, very good strategy. This is an interesting thing about pictures. I've never heard this. So guys, if you're watching this, can you comment and let me know, does it make a difference for you when you open an email if there is a person's photograph? Does it make it more personal to you, or do you maybe you don't care, or maybe you don't like when you see the faces? So I'd love you to share in the comments here and let us know, and we'll do a little poll like that, because I just realized that my picture is on the bottom. I have my signature on the top, so is that a bad thing? So let's see what you guys think. Okay, Rebecca, what is the name of the group that you were talking about, and how can people follow you? I know I have a link here in the description of the video, but tell me a little bit more about what people can get on that link.
Yeah, so there are tons of resources that I have. There are loads, things like stock images, the blogs about all things to do with motivation, business, growing your email list, Instagram, mainly around mindset. And checking in with yourself. Yeah, everything that I put out there goes onto that list. So that's probably the best place to get it, is RebeccaLockwood.org.uk/resources.
Perfect.
My Facebook group is the Female Entrepreneur Network.
Excellent. Simple. Very simple to find. Guys, thank you so much for watching this, Rebecca. Thank you so much for being my lovely guest today. And I hope, guys, that you enjoyed Rebecca's strategies. So again, if you have any questions, or let us know about that question about the email headers. It really does bug me now. My name is Juliette Stapleton. I'm a visibility strategist, and this is Show Up, Stand Out. I will see you soon with another episode. And Rebecca, again, thank you so much for being my lovely guest today.
Thank you for having me.
See you later, guys. Bye.